Hey, over here. Everybody knows achieving perfection is a full-time commitment. Hello there, Frogman, better known as Ryan. And no, I'm not missing, despite what all the milk cartons are saying. I've actually been very busy, pushing myself to be a better person, getting to know the people around me, improving the space around me, and also participating in local culture. See, the sad thing is, you didn't even think for a second I was talking about real life.
Stardew Valley was initially released in 2016, developed by Concerned Ape. Made as an homage and spiritual successor to Harvest Moon, they wanted to give a modern-day alternative to the series, as, in their own words, it had gotten progressively worse as the series went on. After release, Concerned Ape continued updating the game by putting in bug fixes and substantial content additions, updating the game even as recently as March of this year.
Now, before I get any further, I just want to address a personal thing. When I've written things before, I've done my best to address everything I could to express the things I did and didn't like about certain parts of the game. I'll still talk about my likes and dislikes, but please understand how dense this game is and cut me a little bit of slack when talking about this game. I'm not going to touch on everything this game has to offer, and I'd lose my absolute gourd if I felt like I had to. So please don't comment to me that I forgot about the friendship path for Sandy or something, because if that happens, I will be a little bit upset. What does he mean by bull? There's no bull in this game!
The game opens with your dying grandpa.
Time. That's my speedrun for fastest familial death.
He gives you the deed to a plot of land out in Stardew Valley as a way to save you from the overwhelming stress of working at a soulless megacorporation. You get to the land, and now it's completely up to you what to do with all of it. One could set up their starting farm with the free 15 parsnips that Mayor Lewis gives you. You could get started on clearing away all the rocks, twigs, and wild trees found around the forgotten farm. Or you could just say fuck it and begin digging through other people's trash. One thing that will become clear immediately is that there is a lot you can do. Emphasized with your first story quest, tasking you with introducing yourself to every resident in the town. Nice thing about that though, there's no time limit to this, so you can take your time in tracking down anybody you might miss at first. These are the villagers of Stardew Valley. They roam around town on set paths, have schedules for the day depending on factors such as weather, what day of the week it is, or even when they go to the doctor for a checkup. With these people, you are able to talk to them and get to know them better and learn more about them through cutscenes. This is where somebody might say that the relationship system is so deep and complex with rich rewards for participating in it. But you'd have to find someone else to heap that praise. It may just be how I play, but I get absolutely nothing from interacting with these people. Granted, I'm skipping dialogue a lot and don't go out of my way to speak to them every day. It really kind of feels like these people are secondary goals when it comes to progress in the game. I'll just leave this here for when I get canceled. It's not a bad system by any means, and it's got its own hidden depth to it. You can roughly track their status through the dialogue screens. They start opening up to you the longer you become friends with them, and they even send over resources as a sign of friendship. Or to offload their garbage, it's really hard to tell sometimes. I guess my issue is that they never feel like compelling humans to me. When you bring them up on the relationship tab, all I can feel is the cold, dead reality that these people are just gift receptacles waiting for me to cram them full of rabbit's feet and pearls. Maybe if a villager receives a gift too often, then that one gift will become less effective. That might make them feel slightly more human, but not all villagers have a deep enough loved gift pool to make that effective, and it would ruin this game's flow of being able to take your time and relax. A big sticking point about this game is your ability to experience everything this game has to offer at your own pace. Sure, there is a hard set time for the day-night cycle, set days in a season, and an evaluation from your grandpa at the end of year 2, but you are under no obligation to go out of your way for any of those things. New days bring new opportunities, new seasons bring new crops, and the worst thing that can really happen is events due to your own boneheaded actions. Hell, even for the evaluation, the worst score possible has Grandpa saying the farm looks just like how he left it, and if you're enjoying your new life, that's all that matters to him. Promoting this feeling that you can relax and take the world at your own pace, which I think is a really cool and honestly relieving way to go about this game. But none of this bullshit sentiment is gonna stop me from tryharding the fuck out of the first 2 years. To give a measurement of progress aside from making money is the town's abandoned community. What? I don't know why, but I wrote it as community center in the script. What am I trying to say here? To give a measure of progress aside from making money is the town's abandoned community center. Once you can translate the golden text left by the sentient apples through the help of a wizard, you'll have the ability to fill out community bundles. The bundles are set items that need to be donated in a specific pack in order to complete them. They range from different seasonal crops, metal bars, spoils from monster hunting, fish, and straight up cash.
I will bestow my benevolent healing to this abandoned house for the good of all nature, and a small consideration of $50,000. I'll do it.
It's nice to fill out these bundles and slowly chip away at all the items needed to restore the abandoned building, and I especially love the impact you leave on the community for completing them, improving the town through new developments and allowing yourself to get new opportunities for your good deeds. I also really appreciate how the bundles span across every aspect of the game, represented by the 5 skills that you can level up in. Putting it simply, skills are farming, foraging, fishing, mining, and combat. You level up each skill by doing different things that involve that skill, and you'll gain proficiency in the different tools of the trade for leveling up. It's really cool because every action you do in the game brings you nearer to a skill level up, rewarding you with new crafting items to better make use of your spoils. Unfortunately, the later levels can be a bit of a drag to get to, as you'll need more and more experience to level up, and sometimes it's not as easy to fast track some of these. But once it's done, you never have to worry about it again. And speaking of something you'll never have to worry about once it's done, completing the community center unlocks the ability to fix a boat kept by Willy. Doing this grants you access to Ginger Island, the official late game. You have a separate farm here where it is essentially all seasons at the same time, an island-wide scavenger hunt for golden walnuts that unlock new areas and features, plus access to the walnut room and the perfection tracker. This, in my opinion, marks the final steps required to complete the game, filling out the last ridiculous requirements needed to say you've done just about everything this game has to offer, and it really does mean everything. You will have to ship every item in the farm and foraging tab, amass millions of gold to buy expensive obelisks, get hearts with every person that has a relationship bar, and that's not even half of the requirements. This tracker really is the final boss when it comes to the game, but as long as you know what you're going for and have the determination to see it through to its conclusion, it only becomes a matter of when you'll achieve this lofty milestone. And don't be ashamed for a second for using the wiki to do this.
I said don't be ashamed!
I think it's rather obvious at this point that this game practically requires a constant tab on the Stardew Wiki due to all of its moving parts, constant quests for specific items, and general obscure mechanics that will make your life so much easier for knowing. I have absolutely no shame looking anything up on the wiki, because if you really require me to remember every single villager's schedule at every season at all times, I think you can qualify for psychological torture charges. Let me back this up with a little game. During the fall on Friday, you need to deliver an item to Elliot, and it's 12 o'clock. Where will he be? A, in the library, B, standing at the bench in front of his cabin, or C, inside his house all day? Wrong, it's none of those because he has 6 hearts with Leia, so his schedule changed. Why? Fuck you, that's why.
So it's a great time helping out the community and achieving perfection in the valley, but you may be asking, Ryan, isn't there another way to achieve the exact same stuff without going on cockamamie scavenger hunts? And while the answer is yes, will you truly be the same person once you're done?
There is an evil side to Stardew Valley. The very corporation you sought to escape from lingers on in your life, leeching onto your friends, tempting you with wonders, and promising great fortune for selling your soul. This is all bullshit. The Joja Corporation's a fucking joke in this game. I've skated around it for now, but there is another way to bring upgrades to the valley. As long as you pay a membership fee, you can use the cold, sterile Joja Mart to do the exact same upgrades for a rather pricey but flat fee. The anti-corporate themes of the game are definitely heard and are about as subtle as a brick to the face, but under any scrutiny, it doesn't really hold up at all. I get that the developer didn't want to divide the audience by making a clearly wrong option viable, but the whole point about corporations being so hard hard to beat is that they always have resources to outmuscle any local competition. Everybody in-game says the products at JojaMart are so cheap and they save so much money compared to Pierre's prices, but when you go there, they're even more expensive than at Pierre's and only drop to his rate once you buy a $5,000 membership. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. Joja sells sunflower seeds at a lower price even before the membership discount. Wow, how cool. Now I can impress the blonde bitch who goes gaga for fucking coconuts. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend the messaging is nuanced in any way. All the route serves to do is provide a simpler way to make progress and have an obligatory evil route achievement. You can find a handful of clickbait videos of someone yelling into their mic about how the Joja path is better, but like, no. The rewards gained for completing the bundles, while not groundbreaking, are rewards regardless, and they can be items that you'd have to wait a long time to get otherwise. However, as of the most recent updates, there are even more Joja influences tempting you to give exorbitant amounts of money to fast-track golden walnut hunts and even perfection. But one has to ask, doesn't that kind of invalidate the experience of doing it all yourself? And of course not. You can do whatever you want with your monetary support.
Oh my god, is that a corporate shill?
Overall, Stardew Valley, well, obviously I'd go to hell for lying if I said I didn't love this. It is a deeply absorbing experience that can and will take all of your free time if you let it. Not that that's a bad thing, it's an incredibly rewarding and satisfying feeling to build up a farm and get into a routine. Just make sure you remember your real life routine as well. I do find a lot of the late game stuff to be rather underwhelming, as the final push is just a checklist of minute items and a severe money grind to get to 100%. But getting that perfection rating to 100% is sweet, sweet serotonin sauce dripping all the way down my face. After that, it's unfortunately not a lot much else. Sure, the farm is still there and you can play the game to infinity if you want to, but personally, I feel that I can't play the game for the sake of making money's sake, because there's no real payoff to that. I mean, think about it. The themes of this game are taking your time, getting close to nature, and making connections with the people around you. And then all of a sudden it's about amassing as much money as possible using any means possible. What does that remind you of? I feel like the proverbial action of us throwing the sledgehammer through the giant corporation is lessened due to making ourselves into money-making machines with no other purpose. I mean, I guess we have a moral high ground considering we do it all ourselves. Oh no. Oh God, no. Oh God, why? Why am I always being pushed towards slavery?